Hello everyone, Joshua Myers here. Today we're doing the Angry Birds movie.
Have you heard what everyone is saying about the Angry Birds movie?
I don't know, but I bet you're gonna tell me.
Yes, I will. It's funny and heartwarming.
Oh, look, he's blushing.
I'm not blushing, I'm just red.
It's this year's Lego movie.
Well, thank you.
It's the most fun you'll have at the movies this year.
This is why we went to go get pedicures, isn't it?
Nope, we got pedicures because we're worth it.
I got gels.
The Angry Birds movie, rated PG, in theaters everywhere this Friday.
So last night me and one of my brothers popped in the Angry Birds movie. Just like I told you in my last DVD Blu-ray collection update video. I got the Angry Birds movie on DVD for $3.74. And here are my thoughts. First, let's start with the story. The story is about just a colony of birds that live on an island, and it focuses on a main character by the name of Red. And unlike everybody else, he's angry. One day, he is taken to court and is forced to go into anger management class. And then at some point, a boat of pigs show up who may or may not have good intentions on showing up, and it's up to Red and some of his newfound friends to stop them. And that's all I could gather from the plot. Oh man, this movie, like seriously, this freaking movie. Ugh. Now here's the thing, I have seen way worse movies than this. Like, do I need to say Hellraiser Revelations? How, like, seriously. And I've seen other bad movies that are way worse than this, to be honest, but honestly, so far this year, I think this is probably the worst movie I've ever seen this year. At least within this year. Like I mentioned earlier, me and my brother popped this in last night. We watched it. And it was just so unbearable. Like, it was unbearable to sit through, actually. For me, frame one, I was just annoyed constantly. I don't really know what else to say. I'll also say this, it's not funny. Most, 99% of the time, the jokes do not work whatsoever. Even the acting is pretty bad. And it's like, there was only one joke that me and my brother laughed at, and that was it. This was our whole expression throughout the whole movie, from the start of it to the very end. That's how bad this movie is. Like, and in fact, my brother was like, this movie, and knowing that, I thought it was a boring movie too. Like, it didn't do really much of anything to keep you entertained. And in fact, my brother, he was even thinking about how he would view this movie as a kid, and I was too, and he and I came to the conclusion that if we had saw this movie when we were kids, we would not like this movie either. And it's so bad. I mean, and honestly, I feel like it doesn't even feel finished whatsoever. And we were thinking, about how long it probably took them to write the frickin' script for this movie. And my brother and I were like, we honestly think it probably just took them about an hour to write the frickin' script. That's it. Just an hour to write everything. Because that's how it comes across in this movie. And I mean, I could give it at least 2 positives. And that's it. The animation is okay, and I've seen better animation before this movie came out and after. I think it's a serviceable animation for the most part. Like, not half bad. I've definitely seen worse. So I'll give it that. Also, there was one joke that kind of made me laugh, and I honestly think it's a pretty funny joke. So they did got one joke that worked. They did got in one joke that actually did work for me. But other than that, it's just fuck this movie. Like this movie is not good. Like seriously. And I advise you to stay away from it. Now, honestly, I'm kind of joking about that. I mean, if you want to watch it, go watch it. Although I will say, you know, it will be at your own risk. You know, like, it'll be at your own risk if you go and see it. But just, like, if you get on DVD and that, just, because I knew how bad this movie was. Like, I've been hearing nothing but bad things about this film, and honestly, like, for example, I've seen the Nostalgia Critic review of this film, and Chris Stuckman's review and everything before I saw it. And, like, when you actually sit down and watch this thing, it's even worse than how they described it. Now, here's the thing. I've never played any of the games. Honestly, I don't think the games are all that, honestly. And it definitely, like, from what I know, it definitely seemed like the games were definitely not any, like, games I would think to make into a movie. And honestly, there are some games that I think could be turned into a movie and actually work really well. Honestly, I think a Grand Theft Auto movie could work really well if done right. In fact, Amanda pointed out to me that she thinks a Legend of Zelda movie could work really well. She's been playing Breath of the Wild, and she loves the hell out of that game. So yeah, I do think it is possible to make really good video game movies. And I don't know, like, but this one, like, if you were to tell me that the game, like if I've never checked in on at least what the games were like and I just only know about it from this movie, and you were to tell me that the games are good, I would say you're on crack or something, like, because this definitely would not, like, make me want to play those games really at all. And knowing that, like, this movie feels dated, like, really dated. In fact, me and my brother was like, it feels like a movie that came out in the same year as Toy Story or something like that. Like, in the 90s. That's how dated it feels. So I'm going to give the Angry Birds movie a 1 out of 5 star. I'm sorry guys, this was a tough one to get through. Like, seriously, if you have not seen it, I highly recommend staying away from it. But if you do go and watch it, just let that be a warning for you. It's bad. It's bad. It's as bad as, like, no, wait, let me take that back. It's honestly worse than what people have been saying it. Got nothing else, honestly. I feel like a broken human being talking about this movie, and I don't want to talk about it anymore, honestly. I seriously need a vacation. So that's it for today, folks. Thank you guys for watching, and I really do try to hope for the best of humanity